No, please go ahead.
Cool. So, thank you for being here, and thank you. Yeah, good. To be here in this breakout session, and thanks to the to Liz and to the EduFab team for the invitation. I'm here to present a few examples and these are original projects, but I'll get through them in a minute. You'll have a look. Feel free to stop me or just wait to ask questions at the end. I'm not going to take too much time because for some people it's too late in the night. So there we go. Right, so we are SYN Fab Lab. We are based in Athens in Greece. Our aim is to think, design, and make things that matter to each place. We do this by combining design skills, digital fabrication, like all Fab Labs do, electronics, in order to create hands-on projects in context with local needs or groups of participants that we have each time. We have a mobile lab, so we have a van that reaches remote areas where young people don't normally have access to these type of technologies. We are the first mobile lab, so it's quite a challenge to do that. We also create educational material to be used in schools, in libraries and universities in Greece, but also abroad. So personally, I have worked previously in collaboration with other Fab Labs in Belgium and in Qatar to create, to design and develop educational material for teachers to use in classrooms or for kids to use autonomously without the help of anybody in a library or an organization or like an institution. So the tools that we have are like the typical tools that you'll find in a Fab Lab, but are desktop in size, so they are small. So we have of course, design software, open and not open, depending on what we do. We have 3D printers, 3 laser cutters, 2 CNC machines. We have, we have electronics, coding software, hand tools. We can carry also a 3D scanner. We have a vacuum former small enough to be carried in the van. And this is all about it. So we start, normally we start by doing an extensive research on the characteristics of the group that we are about to visit or the characteristics of the place. In order to create something that's bespoke and original and that is relevant to the place where we go in order for it to matter to the participant. Only in 2022-23, we have managed to reach 2,045 pupils in schools for the general public with workshops and things like that. But you can see the second and fourth levels, if you like, and the middle one is to do with the soft skills. Some of us call them 21st century skills. So all of these together create, and also with the respect of the culture and the place where we go, they kind of create the base of the bespoke workshops that we make. So I'm going to jump into like a few examples just to have an idea of what we do. Oh no, before I do that, this is more or less the typical structures that we use. regardless of having like a short workshop of, let's say, 90 minutes or a summer school of 5 days. So this is more or less what we found to be working so far. So at first we present the project and we start a discussion with the participant. We set the context. We start like it's an interactive session, like why is it important in the place where we go? Why is it important for this particular group? And they tell us their opinion as well. We show them the machines that we have carried there, and we start a discussion on why we prefer this type of machine, this type of fabrication, and not something else, not something that we have bought, for example, or something that we found ready-made somewhere else. So we talk a little bit about local production. Then we start assembling or constructing the project that we have in mind with the participant. That takes some time, and it's like the fun part. And then at the end, we sum up by actually discussing and relating everything to what we can do here and now, like regardless of us being, let's say, 5 years old or 50 or 60 or 70 years old, and how can we help the current situation for a resilient planet, for a planet-centered life, like a healthy environment, and so on. So some examples here are like in a very, let's say, if I can say, conservative country like Greece. We were asked to design a workshop that was to do for gender equality and deliver it in schools. And that's for ages 14 to 16. And so kids are normally used to just sit and learn and not having the interaction. So we decided to come up with something that's really playful. So they have to design and make their own ping, like table tennis rackets. The idea for this is to find somebody to become a pair with someone, and to be able to switch like 10 balls between you, regardless of the racket that you have. So one racket is like what we would call like the privileged in society, the normal people, if you want to call it that. And the other racket has like some flaws. People would call it this way in this setting. So as a pair, they would have to work together to achieve the result. And through that, we started the conversation about what is gender equality, what is it to be free to choose whatever you feel, and so on. And we use these machines, we carried these machines to the classroom for the kids to make their own stuff. Another project is something related to behavioral change. Each month, a classroom would have like a goal to reach some positive habit. The first month that we proposed was a month of meditation. So we used the laser cutter and the vinyl cutter with ready-made designs that we made before going to the workshop to create the 12 months. And then the vinyl cutter to create some stickers to show which days the classroom as a group has meditated or not. So it was like a goal for the 30 people, 30 kids in the class to do that for that particular month. Dream Your City is the next project. It's a privileged, big, like a lot of pollution. There is a sea nearby. It's quite polluted as well. So the idea was um, to make the ideal city using 3D printed stamps, to dream a city, and then to try and make the city as closer to as close to this as possible. Close to the sea, we make this project, which is about responsible fishing. So we talk about what we can fish and what not, depending on the time of year. Greece has a lot of water and a lot of islands, so it's quite important for us to know what we could eat and what would be fresh and what we are allowed to eat and not being in like and being in harmony with the natural chain of things. And I think that would be the last project that's to do with having a garden that can be mobile, so that you could move it depending on humidity, sunlight, shadow, or like other conditions apart from weather conditions. So it could be, at the moment, it's in a train station, and then they were going to move it at the schoolyard, and then somewhere else. Everybody would take care of it a little bit. So we made it with kids, starting from like scaled models, and then we moved into a like big one-to-one things. So we used 4 machines for that, and it was like a one big day workshop outdoors. So the idea was to make sure that kids try to be as much as possible outdoors and away from the computer screens. So coming back to them all, and having in mind that we are talking about the Sustainable Development Goals, one would say that, okay, the ping pong rackets, the table tennis rackets are directly related to goal number 5, which is gender equality, and like similarly to the other ones. But at the same time, according to us, all the goals are interconnected. So talking about, let's say, the calendar, which is mostly related to good health and well-being. You could also say that it's related to other stuff like first of all, it's related to number 12, which is responsible production and consumption, which is something that all Fab Labs do, because we produce locally. We don't have to buy or ship the goods, the end product from somewhere afar. Or the project with the mobile gardens. We're talking about climate action, of course, but at the same time, we talk about number 3, which is good health and well-being, because being outdoors and gardening is very good for your mental health. But we can also talk about goal number 1, which is no poverty, because some of the plants are herbs, and we have used them deliberately, because herbs and like tomatoes and some other plants that we've chosen are to be given to people in need later on. So it depends, and it depends on the teacher, it depends on the educator, or what the message is each time. And the goals are there, and the sub goals, because there's plenty of them too, and they're there to set the context and to start a conversation. And we found that it's quite easy, it's not too difficult to talk about these difficult words to 5-year-old pupils. It can be said with very simple words, and they can still understand, they can still be responsible, and they can still do stuff that here and now can change the world in a positive way. So talking about all this, we make our own curriculum. So we make our own workshops, but we also work with teachers. So we either have workshops for teachers in order to um, uh, to show more or less how the machines work, or how the way we work and think, but also to co-design material together, which is the most fun of it, because we could work with a teacher in geography or maths, and then we can make bespoke projects that are really relevant to the class at that time. We've done it before in Greece, but also in other countries. So far it works well. Get in touch if you want to know more, like the actual projects that we've done. I cannot show them to you now because I cannot really show them in public, but I can have like private sessions at some other point.
Olivia, I should warn
Another
you,
thing
few
that
more
we do,
minutes.
and that will be the last thing. Yes, cool. I'm almost done. So the other thing that we do, which is fun, in case you're interested, we do residencies and workshops in Greece. So we invite people from abroad in two places, actually. This is the place where we've chosen to do that in the northern part of Greece, which has a unique, it's really, really amazing, where we get in touch with local producers and local makers, and we make projects relevant to the to the area. And the other one is on the islands. So we've chosen an island which is quite unique, and we do workshops there. So we have a space, we bring the Fab Lab, and we do similar things on the island as well. Normally we do these in October, and it's a lot of fun. That's it for me. So I hope I'm on time.
You are very much on time, Efkaristo. And
Okay.
thank you for the interesting presentation. I had a couple of questions, but I don't think we have much time. If any of the audience has any questions, please feel free. Okay, so I have one question. How are you able to fund your Fab Lab and the whole mobile Fab Lab project?
It's quite difficult, as you know, as everybody knows. So far we've been really lucky to be able to be in European projects. So we've been offering most of our workshops for free to schools, especially schools that are far away from Athens, where kids don't have the technologies there. Because it's quite expensive for us to travel to places. We work also with organizations like foundations that offer some money to have free workshops for everybody. And this is how it is, more or less.